I don't know that one.
Where does endo come from?
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, you can say
It
that.
is a breakdown product of tryptophan.
Tryptophan?
Okay,
hang
is
on,
that what's
please
in
spell
turkey?
that.
Is this the beginning of our review?
Turkey?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
It's in turkey. What? Tryptophan.
He's gonna write it on the board for us, because I can't
Tryptophan.
spell.
Good job.
Amino acids found in turkey. This is what makes you sleepy after Thanksgiving dinner.
Wait, you're right. I thought you were joking. No.
I'm not joking.
It just sounds really fake.
From the study guide, page 437 of your book, those TSI reactions.
For what?
37.
I don't want you to know the whole chart, just that top section. Like alkaline over acid with H2S, there's 4 organisms. One of them you just had today. If I give you one of these reactions and say, give me an example, we'll be able to do that. So just know at least one out of each section. You got me?
What page did you say?
437. So like if I said alkaline over acid without H2S, give me an example.
The Providence,
Yeah, Providenza retiguri or whatever.
Yeah. E. coli.
E. coli.
Yeah.
That's there'll be a similar
Morganella,
question.
Morgani. Sugar.
What are 3 enteric pathogens? Yersinia, Salmonella, Shigella. What are their natural hosts, starting with Yersinia?
Fleas or rats?
Rats. Flea is what transmits it. It starts with the rat. Salmonella.
That's some contaminated food, right? Or raw food?
Specific types of food.
Culture?
Poultry. Technically, textbook answer, anything that lays an egg can carry salmonella. So that includes
Turtles?
reptiles, fish, turtles, all that.
Platypus.
So you want
That's an oddball one. I don't know if platypus can do that, but I guess according to that definition, they probably could.
So is that what you want us to know? Is anything can lay an egg?
No, I want you to know poultry, because that's the most common.
So your senior was in rats?
Rats, ground squirrels, rodents. Rodents is good enough. What's the last one?
Shigella.
Shigella. What's the natural host for Shigella?
Sandwiches.
No, it's not home.
I threw away a lot of sandwiches at Walmart because of Shigella. Listeria.
Humans.
Really?
Yes.
And actually, the other great apes can carry it as well, because we are a great ape. Gorillas, chimpanzees, and orangutans can carry it as well.
Okay.
But basically, Shigella, humans. Salmonella, poultry. Yersinia, rats.
Not just rodents?
Huh?
Not just rodents?
Rodents. Rodents is fine. The squirrels also counts. Something some of y'all did today. What reagent must be added to the phenylalanine test? You should know this, Patricia. You can't ask for it.
Kovacs reagent.
Not for the phenylalanine test.
I'm talking about acid.
The brown looking
Oh,
stuff.
the
in big
citric,
bottle.
ferric acid.
Ferric chloride.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for that.
That was me.
That's why I don't know.
Ferric chloride for what test now? I'm
You
sorry.
sound so
Phenylalanine. PAD test, phenylalanine deaminase. We able to match bacteria to disease states and distinctive characteristics. The examples I gave, Anthea is bright yellow. Serratia is brick red. Yersinia pestis causes the plague.
Okay.
Which media will allow you to see H2S production?
What do you use?
H2S production. Which ones will allow you to see that? What media?
KIA
is one. TSI is one. TSA is bad people.
Yeah.
TSI. Triple sugar iron.
Okay, sorry.
What else? Think of the plate medias. All that stuff in your homework that was important.
Yeah. Sorry.
That I'm due till the night before, so I'll have it right on mine.
So KIA and TSI was for what? I'm sorry.
They'll both show H2S production.
Sim?
Plate oil.
Oh, and the H something.
HG's one?
The what?
What is it, guys?
XLD auger will show it.
What auger?
Oh,
XLD.
the biggie, because it goes with this chapter. What is SS auger for? Salmonella Shigella auger. That's why it's called SS. Will also show H2S production. So your tubes that we talked about, these. Oh, the other one y'all did today, the SIM.
Yeah, Sim. I said that. Nobody said anything.
Some shows H2S production.
Yeah.
Same as all
Black
the others.
precipitated H2S.
What is 015787?
That's E. coli, but that's a hemorrhagic E. coli.
Yeah.
EHAC.
Because it's going to have blood in the stool.
That was my next question. What does it cause? Bloody diarrhea. Does it produce toxins?
It's,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two of them actually. One of them I want you to know.
Okay, which is?
Oh no, you tell me.
I don't
This is
know.
what's actually causing the bloody diarrhea.
Oh, because it latches on.
Shiga toxin.
Sugar.
Almost biochemically identical to produced by Shigella.
Sugar. And that's the, okay, tell me the numbers again, because when you say it, I know it, but I don't know the numbers for the.
0157:H7.
Okay, thank you.
Shiga toxin, known for Dr. Shiga in Japan in 1896, who discovered Shigella and Shiga toxin.
Oh.
Apes.
Yeah.
Listed on SMAC.
SMAC was my next thing. How do we test for it? McConkey with sorbitol. That is the only thing McConkey with sorbitol is used for. Because we're concerned about this guy.
It's sorbitol, yeah, it's on that grows it. That's like sorbitol.
You need to know that this is enterohemorrhagic E. coli, bloody diarrhea, hemorrhagic, bloody, go together. And again, we know, thanks to the review, that all these organisms cause diarrhea.
Yeah. There's a lot of pooping going on.
Next question, what allows gonorrhea to be resistant to penicillin?
Yep.
No.
The pili,
Huh?
the pili, whatever.
Is it a virulence factor?
Well, that would be the caps.
Well, yeah,
Cause
technically it
it's
is
swinging,
virulent.
Oh, okay.
cause it swings, it's mobile, or whatever.
It ain't dodging penicillin.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just guessing, friend.
Is it that thing where they like share their DNA or whatever and then suddenly become resistant or whatever? I can't remember.
Gonorrhea,
Well, sharing of the DNA through plasma or whatever teaches it how to produce something that makes it resistant to penicillin.
Okay,
Okay,
so it's
so-
something it produces.
on the right pathway, but, right?
Apparently. Beta lactate.
Beta lactamase production.
Sorry.
Remember penicillin, part of its molecular compound, it has that beta lactam ring.
Oh, and it breaks.
Beta
the
lactamase breaks that ring.
Okay.
So now the penicillin is no longer an antibiotic. So as a result, what should we test if we ID gonorrhea? What should we test it for?
Make sure that if it's resistant to penicillin or not.
Test it for beta lactamase production. If that test is positive, it's resistant to all, not just penicillin, but all of the penicillin family. Ampicillin, amoxicillin, all the psyllins. Every psyllin it's resistant to.
Mm-hmm.
So then you had to change over to something like a sulfur drug or something.
Yeah. If you get gonorrhea, we're gonna take you out. We're gonna give you those sulfur
They gonna-
cure like you do.
Yeah.
I'm not have that.
Some of the cephalosporins are affected as well.
Let's come back.
Since we're on the topic of Neisseria gonorrhea, what are the selective medias for Neisseria?
Paramore.
Good.
New York City. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
There's a couple more. One of them kind of goes with this. There's a modified Thermorphin.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Okay, so these abbreviations, TM is
Thermorphin.
Thayer Martin,
Modified Thayer Martin,
Modified Thayer Martin.
NYC, New York City auger.
New York City auger. Okay.
Martin Lewis, Pulp Fiction. Huh? That's the kind of shape she orders.
GC Lect. That's the most common in Arkansas that I've been able to
Is
tell.
that Martin Lewis one?
Huh?
Martin Lewis?
Yes, it is.
It's a freaking milkshake thing.
What?
And then chocolate too.
If we were trying to grow Neisseria, what do we have to do to make it grow? We just throw it in an incubator, it's not gonna grow.
It's fastidious, right?
Yeah, that's why we have to have special augers.
Okay.
We gotta do something else.
You ever play with another organism or not?
Candle jar.
Candle jar, CO2 incubator, something along those lines. Most places now they have CO2 incubators. In National Park, we have a little incubator with a huge CO2 tank with a hose on there. And it maintains about 7% CO2. We've got to increase the CO2 or Neisseria will not grow. I don't care what you plate it on, if you throw it in a regular incubator, you're not getting gonorrhea growth. You get some other things grow, that one's not.
Yours didn't grow good, did it?
Obligate capnophile.
Yeah, it is capnophilic, obligate, because it won't grow without it. The carbohydrate result, remember the 4-2 carbohydrate test? What is gonorrhea positive for? Glucose only. What about our other Neisseria we care about? Neisseria meningitidis. Glucose and maltose.
And
Correct.
hang on, say that again, please.
Neisseria gonorrhea is positive for glucose only.
Okay.
Neisseria meningitidis is positive for glucose and maltose. Results would look like that for those two organisms, Neisseria gonorrhea and Neisseria meningitidis. Why do they include 4 tubes? I have no idea, because almost none of them are positive over here. The only two we care about are the first 2 tubes. We're talking about Neisseria meningitidis. What does it cause?
Meningitis.
Meningitis, in the name. What is meningitis?
Just
Inflammation of your spine?
Supposed to be.
A central nervous system infection which causes inflammation of the meningeal layer.
We'll say the meninges.
So spinal column, brain, whatever. What are the symptoms of meningitis?
Stiff neck.
One's a biggie,
Lethargic or.
Inflammation?
extreme headache.
Oh,
Yes.
Stiff neck too, right?
Sometimes
Stiff
people can
neck.
have vertebrae,
My
and
head's
then like
killing me.
bruising and
My
stuff.
neck's stiff, spinal tap. That's next on your list at ER. You go on with those symptoms. So unless you think you have meningitis, do not tell your ER doctor those symptoms, because he's gonna stick a needle in your spine.
And that is not lovely. I had to hold my son twice while they did that to him.
Oddly enough, when they pull that fluid out, it creates a vacuum in the brain, because this is all a column of fluid, so now there's an air pocket up here. Now you have splitting migraines for up to 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
Is that sort of like when they do the spinal tap when you're pregnant, you get the migraine?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so.
How's it spread? How do we spread Neisseria meningitidis?
STD. Oh wait,
No.
not meningitis.
I know some people,
Not meningitis.
some people have gotten
I'm
it
trying to think
from,
about what kind of bizarre acts you would have to be involved in to spread this sexually.
I know some people have gotten it from lakes
Through the birth canal.
and the,
Areas of close contact, dorms, barracks.
Daycare.
That's where it pops up most common.
Is it not just through?
How is it
Contact,
spread?
man, contact.
Respiratory
droplets
Yeah.
that,
Breathing, coughing,
Oh,
sneezing.
nailed it.
that can last in the
Spit
air
in
for quite a while.
Aerosol, yeah, respiratory droplets. And that's why there's some respiratory droplets for you.
They'll give us meningitis.
That's why in these enclosed areas it's so bad, because when you cough, sneeze, or whatever, you just put respiratory droplets on 40 people instead of 2. I aimed it at the board, so don't touch the board, you'll be fine. One other organism we talked about in this in that section with Neisseria was MCAT, Moraxella cataralis. And I said it's difficult to treat because of where it likes to infect. It likes to cause sinus infection, ear infections. It's naturally resistant stuff. It goes to places without a lot of blood flow, so it's a problem organism. In the past, it belonged to 2 other families before it became Moraxalin. What were they?
Enteric.
No, it's a gram-negative cocci. It doesn't belong to the enteric.
What'd you say, Haley?
It's in the Neisseria chapter. There's a hint. It used to be Neisseria, and there's one other it used to be. Does start with B.
B served? No, wait.
I don't know if I can spell this right.
So, Neisseria.
Ron Hamel.
H-N.
That's not right.
Yeah,
Ron Mahel.
Brandon Mellon.
Brandon Brown.
It was in Neisseria for a while, and they said, it don't really fit this. Let's move it over to Branamella. It didn't really fit there, and they said, look, this is its own bug. Give it a new name, Moraxalin.
And
Sounds
it
good.
infects the sinuses and what else?
It's bad about causing ear infections, sinus infections, things of that nature. But it's in this chapter because it's very, very similar, and it used to be a Neisseria, and that's why it's in the Neisseria chapter. So that's a hint. You know, it's in the same chapter, if you remember that. Caught it. 415 yearbook, the last one I said, know your virulence antigens. There are 3 listed, O, H, and K. What is the O antigen? Where does it come from?
Somatic antigen?
It is that.
It's a cell wall?
Cell wall. Do all these organisms have a cell wall?
No.
No. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
H antigen, where does it come from? Without looking at the book, Stephanie.
You told me the page, man.
Flagellar. Flagellar antigen. Is it possible for all these organisms to have that?
I don't know.
No.
No.
Not all of them.
Maybe.
Because it means it's most of them are not.
We have 3 that are non-mobile. They don't have.
So they all
flagella,
don't have
so
it,
that one's
no.
not possible.
No.
Yeah.
You know, we said no and you made a face, so.
I keep second guess yourself.
Ugh.
K antigen.
Capsule.
Capsule. Is it possible for all of these to have that one?
No, not all of them have a capsule.
Exactly. Not all of them have a capsule. O, cell wall. H, flagellar. K, capsule.
I'll say that again. I like how you say that.
Flagellar.
Flagellar.
Say it again. I like how you say that.
Why?
Good. I like how you say it. Say it. Yeah.
Or the Delphi
It's
style.
funny. It's
Or jelly.
Oh, it's what?
regular.
Oh, cell wall.
O, cell wall. It is heat stable, which means if you heat it up, it ain't going anywhere.
That's the cell wall.
Yep. The other 2, H is flagellar, K is capsular. Both of these, if you heat it up, will destroy that antigen.
Sorry.
Ding, ding.
So it's H and K is destroyed.
O does not.
O and K.
Heat labile.
O and K or H and K?
Oh,
All right, there is a question I want you to look at, because this is how you have to be able to answer micro questions on this exam for a couple of examples and on your register. At the back of the chapter, on page 446, question 6.
Chapter what?
19.
446.
A gram-negative, oxidase-negative coccobacillus was isolated from the spinal fluid of an infant. The organism produced dark pink colonies on McConkey. Stop right there. What does that mean?
Clem?
Clem.
No.
Dark pink.
Oh, it's lactose.
Lactose fermenter.
Fermenter.
Clue 1. It had the following biochemical results. Triple sugar iron, acid over acid with gas. Phenylalanine deaminase, negative. H2S, negative. Endo, positive. Motility, positive. Urea, negative. Citrate, negative. What's the identity?
Where's the flow chart?
That is the reality of how you've got to answer micro questions.
Organelle.
That's why I said, know your flow chart.
E. coli, I mean, that was negative.
It's all over the place.
So let's take it one step at a time. Lactose positive.
Positive. Okay.
Okay,
Citrate.
It's modal.
okay.
So if it's modal, we can eliminate 3 organisms right there, correct?
Yersinia? Does it say sky, whatever sky is? Flares?
Yes, those are gone. Lactose positive.
Okay. Lactose.
We already did that.
Proteus is
Yersinia
gone.
and Shigella, they're gone.
No longer a possibility, correct?
This is not working.
So for your multiple choice, we've eliminated 1.
So what?
Citrate negative. Does that help you at all?
E. coli?
Yeah.
Oh, look, if somebody said that without even looking.
No, citrate. Or
It could
but
not
it's
be.
not those. It's not those because it's that.
That's the only thing that's left.
It's basically gotta be
But this
that.
doesn't even come off that side.
It's E. coli.
Your ID is E. coli.
Awesome, so.
Every single micro question on your registry will be in that format.
Oh,
You'll have a 2-page case study and a bunch of biochemical results. There's a couple of these on this exam.
I'm gonna go get her.
So for this exam, 59 questions, worth 129 points. There are 2 bonus points possible because, like we know, XLD is one of ours that'll show H2S production, correct?
Yes.
So if I say, what does a black colony on XLD mean?
That means it's H2S production.
Exactly. And the bonus part of that would be, give me an example. There's 2 questions like that.
An example, like, give the.
What organism like to do that? Gotcha.
So what are your H2S producers? I already know salmonella. I already know Proteus. So there's 2 right there.
yeah, because we had one.
What
today that
color
was
is a
H2S
lactose
producer.
fermenter on HE agar?
Yellow.
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 Good. Yellow orange.
Yellow, orange, and that's, you said lactose.
What are some of our lactose fermenters? You know 2 immediately. You should.
E. coli.
E. coli. What's another one? Think pink snot.
Oh, it's yellow.
Klebsiella. Alright, test opens up with a matching section. One of these, I've drove this in your head so much, you better get this one. What's the most common cause of kidney and UTI infection?
E. coli?
Which one swarms?
Proteus.
There you go. Which one do I think's pretty because it's bright yellow?
That is that yolk.
Something back to her.
It's the other one.
The other one.
Oh, that's the AGGOLERANS.
Antwerpia.
Whatever.
Antwerpia, and then you said the species, agglomerans. What are key characteristics an organism has to have to be an enteric?
Lactose.
negative.
Correct. What else?
Lactose ferment.
Not all are lactose fermenters.
That's true.
Non-modal, right?
No.
Is that right or not?
Most are modal. There are 3 that are not.
Oh, that's right, most are modal.
They all will ferment glucose.
Gram negative.
They're all gram-negative bacillus. They all reduce nitrates to nitrites.
Right.
So this is the one giving you that positive on your nitrite square on the urinalysis dipstick. So as you see that, possible enteric. We don't know that for sure because there are others, but it's definitely a possibility. True false section. Okay, first we already went over this. What's the O antigen?
That's the
Cell wall.
Is it heat stable or heat labile?
Yes,
Stable.
Stable.
Heat stable.
Label.
Stable.
Label.
It is heat stable.
Oh.
Heat stable.
Label destroys.
As far as comparing Salmonella to Shigella, which one takes much less organism to be infected?
Shigella.
Shigella, it takes any contact and you can get it. Salmonella, I mean, you can still get it, but it takes a pretty good dose.
Yeah,
Okay.
you said that is the food, right?
You gotta take a big chicken leg, you can't just smell it.
You got to eat that stuff.
Does the disease bubonic plague exist today?
Yeah,
Yes.
Very much so. Still crops up time to time. It just don't kill 30 million people anymore.
Awesome.
Oh, this is a good question.
Malaria.
Malaria, is that what you said?
It's not a fill in the blank, it's a true false.
That's the go-to
Oh, whoa.
malaria.
This time
Well,
I
it says true false.
And,
Lisa.
it's worth 1 point, and if you don't read chapter 9, you'll miss that one.
Okay.
Chapter 9?
Why does cleb look so mucoid and snotty? What gives it that appearance?
Moisture.
Sometimes it's so warm.
I know.
It
That
doesn't-
capsule,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that capsule is what gives it that mucoid appearance. It has a large sticky capsule.
It's large sticky.
That's the next question. What does it look like? Ooh, which organism is very, very easy to mistake for salmonella?
Oh, you told us this,
Very similar in all of its biochemical tests except for like one. Citrobacter.
Citrobacter.
okay.
I always remember Citrobacter because it's citrate positive and so salmonella.
Okay.
What causes typhoid fever?
Typhus.
Typhoid Mary.
You're gonna have to be more specific than that. I need an organism.
It's T something.
Oh,
With an H.
That was started with an N. but-
Salmonella typhi.
Salmonella type.
Give me two organisms that are H2S positive.
We did two
We
today.
did.
Proteus
Yeah.
and salmonella.
I mean, you also have Citrobacter and Wardzilla. Of all of the species of Proteus, of which there are many, how many are generally considered to be pathogens? Two. What are they?
Vulgaris mirabilis.
Mirabilis. Yes.
Can you write that, please? I'm writing this down in notes and I wanna make sure I got it.
That's the one we got there.
Wendy, what'd you say was H2?
You just wrote one of them on your prep.
Salmonella and Dairy. Okay, I got Rolex. Never mind, I got it. I got it, Fran, I got it. Never mind. Thank you.
How do they smell?
Nasty. Socks.
burnt
Putrid.
chocolate.
Textbook answer, burnt chocolate.
Oh, I'm way nasty.
But what-
All right, nasty, can we get it right? Nasty.
Burnt chocolate.
Oh, this is so nasty.
That's a great question. I'm not gonna share that with you. We'll talk about that after the fact.
Thanks. Okay.
Maybe some disagreement on that, I like it. People who have had typhoid fever or salmonella typhi,
Mhm.
they can harbor this organism for decades.
Gallbladder.
Your gallbladder.
Gallbladder. My stepmother had a really, really like hospitalized 2 weeks, nasty dose of salmonella about 10 years ago. She had her gallbladder out yesterday. I said, "You're good now."
I told my grandma because she had typhoid fever in El Salvador. She still has her gallbladder.
There's one organism we talked about that has been implicated in contaminated blood products because it likes the cold. It loves cold temperatures.
I remember talking about this one. I don't remember the name
I
though.
remember you talking about it.
This is also the one that's modal in the cold and non-modal at minus 10.
Temperature, because
Oh,
it paralyzes
It
it.
is a Yersinia.
No.
No.
It's one of the Yersinia. It's nicer than this, right?
No,
Dang it,
Wrong.
the other one.
wrong.
Sorry.
Yersinia intercolitica.
There we go. How do you spell that? I
Yeah,
remember.
E-N-T-E-R, enter, O, colitica.
I had that. Oh, I had my book.
I remember that one because it was like, oh, so we have the plague of the plague.
Okay, you're doing a urine culture. You do a gram stain, it's a gram-negative bacillus. What would be your most obvious next test?
Black. No. I was wrong.
If you don't already know that from your plate, what's your obvious next test? Quick, easy, takes this long.
She said oxidase.
Do an oxidate, see if it's an enteric.
Swab,
Correct.
right?
Oh, we already talked about that one. If I give you a TSI tube and it's all yellow, what's your result? There's no negatives on the TSI tube.
Say that again.
If I give you a TSI tube and the whole tube's yellow,
That's alkaline, right? So no production.
acid over acid.
Oh, it's acid.
Yellow is acid. If it's yellow on the bottom, it's acid. If it's yellow on the top, it's acid.
Okay, so you're-
Read top to bottom. What about if it's reddish on top and black on the bottom?
One of them's alkaline, the other one's
Alkaline
H2S.
over,
H2S.
Acidic, cause acidic can be white.
Yeah.
alkaline over acid with H2S. Even if you cannot see that yellow color, if it's black, it's acid.
Okay.
Remember that.
That's those reactions you told us to study, right?
People talk so much.
If you're reading a TSI tube and it's alkaline over acid, what does this tell you about this organism? Well, what can it ferment?
Lactose?
If the top remains alkaline, it can only ferment glucose. It started off, it fermented that glucose in the bottom, it could not make that change into lactose, sucrose, or whatever the other sugars are. So it went alkaline over acid. Neisseria meningitidis. Is it a pathogen? Always. Never normal flora.
No.
Neisseria meningitidis is normal flora
Oh,
of
yes.
the upper respiratory tract.
Yes.
That's why if you're doing a sputum culture and you grow out meningitis, you won't freak out and call the doctor, they got meningitis. Normal flora.
Oh, it's always a pathogen.
No.
Of
If
the,
it's in the spinal column, you got problems. So it is normal flora in the upper respiratory tract. As long as it stays in its lane, it's okay.
Okay, so.
So it's not always pathogenic. What other condition besides genital infection can gonorrhea cause? What?
Joints?
Goat arthritis.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, gonorrhea likes to jump to the joints.
Yes.
And when they go in and pull that joint fluid, which they do in arthritis to see what's going on, it's nasty, pussy. I mean, it causes a real purulent arthritis.
one of them has blindness, right?
It gets me every
All of them
time.
have potential if they get in the eyes, but gonorrhea especially. Will gonorrhea grow on blood auger?
No.
No, it's too fastidious. What is the oxidase reaction of Neisseria? Good. Wait, bad. Bad. Bad.
So what is positive?
Neisseria species are oxidase positive,
Oh.
which is why when we're doing those genital cultures or whatever, we'll just take a big swab right through the heaviest quadrant and do an oxidase.
Well, somebody looked at me and asked me if I was doing their swab on their yesterday. I said, no, I don't do that.
Say, no, I'm sorry, I wish I could, but we're out of the big ones.
I guess I should have said something like that.
Oh.
If you do a oxidase test, what color is a positive typically?
It's
Dark blue,
Purple,
purple color. We already talked about that. We talked about that. Okay, how's meningitis spread?
Respiratory droplets.
Good.
So if somebody be like, well, that'd be the droplet.
That's right.
Or would that be on airborne?
Normal flora question. I'm gonna give you a site and tell you to give me 3.
Okay.
So look at the sheet you gave us.
What 3 sites you talking about?
If you are doing a culture and you identify salmonella, what's gotta be done next?
You gonna ship that out, right?
Ooh,
CDC.
To,
And
Yeah.
then the state health department.
CDC?
Then they
State
send,
health.
yeah, then
Yeah.
they send it to
State
city.
State health if they drop.
Because they have to
you get
record.
salmonella or Shigella, it goes to state health.
Because they have to record every incidence of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And guess what? Here's the bad thing about that. If the same patient comes back in 3 days, you do another stool culture and it's positive,
You gotta
you're
do
gonna send
it.
that one to state health too.
Oh.
That's crazy.
So do they count those as like 2 separate incidences, even though it's obviously the same person? And
Yeah.
they're probably 2.
Yeah, as long as you're-
Oh, that.
So don't come pooping again in my lab.
What do you have to see to give a presumptive identification of gonorrhea in a male patient?
Is that discharge, that nasty?
Inability to
Get more
urinate.
back.
Yeah,
nasty
because
white,
Huh?
nasty
Inability to
stuff?
urinate.
or is that
There's other conditions that can cause that.
That has to be in the cell.
Intracellular, gram-negative diplococci. If you see that from a urethral specimen on a male, we can presumptively identify not serious gonorrhea.
Gram negative.
Diplococci, they're in pairs. Intracellular, they'll be inside the white cells.
Say the diplo part again. Diplo.
Gram-negative intracellular diplococci.
And that's 4 gonorrhea.
in men?
Yeah. But you can't do that to a woman.
If I give you a picture of a plate and it looks like the organism has almost covered the whole thing, what would you call it?
Warming.
What organism would you call it?
Proteus.
Or a really bad auger plate?
If I gave you a picture of a plate that looked like hot pink fluorescent slime on it.
Clips.
I'm gonna show you 2 TSI tubes and say, give me the results. So there isn't, remember, there is no positive or negative.
Yeah.
It's alkaline over acid, acid over acid, alkaline over alkaline.
With the H2S.
H2S gas as it occurs. And that is your exam.
Aha.
How much you want for a piece?
$10 for this.
Woo!
$10?
Wait, shine it
Hold
over
up.
here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get that size right.
Oh, for the peak, I get it. I was like, man, that's what $10. Right?
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna get you some more money.
Any other questions over this?
You
I
said
hope not, I just pretty much spilled everything.
The whole- yeah.
120 points, 29 points?
129, I think, with 2 bonus points possible. And it's gonna be giving a result and then say, the bonus, give me an example, so.
Okay.
Not much bonus on this.
And this is the test that you said that drops every 115? Or was it?
Historically, this is the hardest exam in the program.
I think I thought that was the other one.
Well, except for the registry, but.
That was the same movie.
It looked really freaky.
I need a break.